Hello, good evening, and welcome everybody to another edition of Travel Talk. I'm Mickey Mark, and joined with me, as always, my co-host from the East Coast, Mr. Neverland Nate. What's happening, brother?
What's up, man? How are you?
Shoot, it's been a minute. I'm doing good.
It's been a minute. It's been a couple of seconds. It's been a whole mess of time, to be honest with you. A lot
Yep,
has gone on over these
3 weeks we've been
past few days.
gone from the interwebs, yeah, and definitely a lot has happened. So we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, but I just want to start something off with a little bit of magic here at the top of the hour. So let's take a look.
The magic is calling you to the Walt Disney World 50th Anniversary Celebration, beginning October 1st.
Yeah, October 1st. Going to be here before we know it. We're literally less than 4 months away.
Yep,
I think almost
absolutely.
almost down to 100 days, actually. I think like 110, 112, something like that. But yeah, it's going to be really exciting, and we've got a whole bunch of exciting announcements to talk about. But first, let's kick off with where Nate's been the past week. You literally just got home, what, a couple days ago, yeah?
Yeah, it was kind of like Where's Waldo, but you had to find a bottle of rum. It's kind of the
A
same
bottle of
thing.
rum
Hey, dude, I went on Pirates, I think, 3 times while I
in
was
one
down
day,
there.
or?
No, just 3 times, which I
Oh,
haven't been
okay.
on Pirates in quite some time. Um, But yeah, I did. We did 4 days at Universal. We hung out with Sean and Carrie down there in Windermere, and then we went over to Disney for 8 days. I guess 9 days.
Wow.
Stayed at Boulder Ridge Villas on the fifth floor of Boulder Ridge, and we had one of the instead of just having your small lanai, we actually had that covered, so it looked like our room was sticking out of the roof, kind of.
Right,
It's got
right,
that
right.
overhang. So we overlooked the quiet pool and the lagoon. It was gorgeous. Even during the rainstorms, the rain would come in sideways, and you couldn't even see the pool because it was just so much. But yeah, we had a great time. We had a lot of fun. Um,
Jenny says, making sure
oh,
you're
hey,
still alive and kicking, Nate.
I sure am. I sure am. I put my phone down for the first time today. Um, no, that was a lot
Busy,
of
busy
fun.
day.
It was a very busy day. Very busy day. But
So, how was Universal? I mean, that was the first time you've been back since we've kind of had the quote unquote grand reopening of June 15th,
yeah.
as well as at Disney. So, what was it like? I
So
mean, was it?
first day we went there, it was pretty spacious walking around. We got to see a lot of things and get a lot of things done and get seamlessly from place to place. Then we took a day off, I think it was, and then we went back the next day, and we got into the parking garage, and we were standing in line, just not moving, and just all I could see was people for forever in front of me. I mean,
Yeah,
all of their people walkers were all full, security all full, and I was like, wow. So when we finally got up there, because we had a stroller, so I had to go in the separate line, and I said to the security guard jokingly, I was like, man, what are you guys going to do when it's get packed in here? And he's like, this isn't packed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. So we go in to City Walk, and immediately I go to that surf shop every time on the right hand side just to see if there's
yeah.
something new, which I had to buy. I had to buy a new pair of swim trunks, and that's when you and my phone went off in a message, the 3-way chat. How you doing, Tiffany?
Hey,
The
Tiffany.
3-way chat with you and Pat, and it said, um, Universal opens to full capacity today. And then I looked around and I was like, yeah, that's
You shot
exactly
back
what
at
it
the photo.
was.
You're like, yep.
It was, I mean, there was so, I mean, we walked into over where Hogwarts is, and it was, I mean, you could lift your feet and not move. I mean, you would just be suspended because there was so many people. It was really, really packed.
So it looked like
Um,
pre-COVID. Basically, it was back to
it
normal.
looked, it looked, it looked like normal, but it was just so much worse. There were a couple people adhering to some of the social distancing, things that are going on or whatever, but most weren't, and it was pretty much like you said, just back open, back to normal. At 95 degrees, everybody walking around having a good time, hooting and hollering, and
Yeah.
um, I gotta
Now,
say,
you guys didn't stay on
yeah.
site though, right? You guys were staying with your
We
friend
didn't. We
Sean.
stayed with friends. Yes, we stayed with.
So what time? You remember what time when you got to the City Walk area? Was it just after park opening? It was like 10 a.m.
It was probably 10:30 in the morning. I
Okay.
mean, it wasn't. Yeah, we
So
went
when a
there right.
majority of the crowds come basically an hour after opening.
Yeah, so it was. But
Yeah.
I mean that line to get in was something else. I mean, there was a lot of people. Trying to think of what else. We did some things we hadn't done before. So all right, so we got to see Velocicoaster.
Yeah, how was that?
So I think it's a really cool, and for those people who don't know what Velocicoaster is, it's the new roller coaster down at Universal Studios, and it shoots you from 0 to 40. That's how the ride starts, and then you do a bunch of like really tight turns and swoops
Barrel
and whatever you
rolls and
call
yep.
it, and crazy things, and then it comes up and around, and then there's these bars that you can watch through, and it's almost like a viewing area off to the side, and that's where it comes down. So this is what I was told, is that when it comes down around the corner and gets to this next platform, that's you have to be going 40 miles an hour because it launches you from 40 to 70 miles an hour right there.
It's just like
So you see them come down, like this in front of you, and then now if they're not going 40 miles an hour, the roller coaster actually has to back up the hill. So it comes down with that 40-mile-an-hour force, I was told. So I thought that was a pretty cool little, piece
So
of
does it
information.
stop it and push it back up or something, or what?
If it doesn't make it, I didn't see it happen, but apparently that's
okay.
the thing of it, because you have to be caught at a certain thing. Because when you hit 70, you go and I mean
It's like
straight
when
up.
you get 88 miles an hour, you're gonna see some.
You go
serious
straight up,
shit.
and then you come down the other side, and there's another place where you can stand and view, and you see the people. You saw some pictures of just like straight coming at you, and then they go upside. So
yeah, it kind of comes into
barrel
an inverted corkscrew, right?
It you would think a barrel roll is just a continuation, like flops over. When they go over the street, it turns them upside down, and for a second maybe
They're
you're
just like suspended.
right, and you're not turning, you're just flat, and then continue your barrel roll. So for thrill seekers, I'd highly recommend that. I don't think anyone on there wasn't screaming the entire time.
Oh, yeah.
You could
Every
look at
video
every
I've
scene
seen.
here and
Yeah,
hear
every
them.
video I've seen, it's just like it's all you hear is the wind and screaming.
For those of you with littles, if your kids might not be sure about meeting a velociraptor, in that there's a meet and greet area where you can meet a velociraptor. They do have a younger version where they take out a baby one, and the kids
Oh,
can
yeah,
get
I
close to
remember
it,
that,
but it doesn't. So we did that. That was really cool because it's like a one-on-one experience with the kids, and you stand here and take a picture, that kind of stuff. But
how close do the kids get to get? I mean, based upon the current social distancing guidelines, were they able to get
within 3 feet? But
Okay.
it is a baby, so you don't want it to bite. So
right.
I just didn't know how the kids were going to react if we went down to that full extreme velociraptor. That guy comes out of nowhere and starts jumping around.
That it's a little intense even for adults, right? So like your kids would probably have had nightmares and been scarred for life. So
right,
definitely some therapy would have come out of that one for sure.
Let's see what else did we do? I mean, we did a lot of walking around. Of course, we hit ET.
So I saw they closed ET. I don't know if it was the week you were there, but one of the creators of ET, not creators, I guess he was a director or something, but he passed away, and they actually had closed the ride the entire day in remembrance of him. I think it was when was it? It was last Wednesday. So
yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. There's nothing in here. Actually, there's the Mio flavoring of orange and vanilla, so it kind of tastes like a creamsicle. That's what I've been using to sweeten my water because Sean got me onto a Mio kick. But nothing tonight, Sean. I'm trying to pace myself for every other day instead of every day. My liver called last night. I was very upset.
It came back from vacation and said, "Hey, stop."
Yeah. So then we went over to Disney. Of course, again, stayed at Boulder Ridge. Went over to Tambu a couple of times. Saw John and Walter and Adam and Christina.
I saw a couple of your lives from Tambu, from you and Dave, and I think you did one with Marty, did too, didn't you? Marty and Steve were there.
Yep, Marty's.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. I'm trying to think of because I was just thinking about when I was standing at the pool bar, but there are rumblings about Grotto returning, hopefully sometime next month. Hopefully, that's what people are hoping for. There have been people training spotted yesterday at Grotto.
And we know California, theirs is open, right? They've
They're
managed to do
open,
it.
and they are on a reservation basis. Yep.
Sure, sure. But it just seems like, when this all started, last July, right, a year ago, Disney was, the only one kind of reopened, and California was like, nah, not happening, right? Not even close. And now all of a sudden, Disney and California is just like, hey, we're going to get there first.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I
Like,
think
it's a race to 100%.
When it comes to that bar in particular, Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar over in California is a standalone unit. Of course, it's connected to the hotel, but it's a standalone unit. You can walk in, and it seats a lot more than Grotto.
Sure.
Grotto is inside the Polynesian lobby where hundreds of people stand just to wait to get in. And then plus their fire capacity is 51. And one of their most famous seating areas is a communal surfboard that you sit at. So it's hard to say you could put 3, 2, and 1, or 3, 2, and 3, and how you're going to set that up.
Well, the other thing too is, Disneyland hasn't had the issues with getting staff versus Florida, right? So it's a much bigger resort,
Correct.
More people. Yeah, Sean, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So we'll
that's a great. You know what? That's a great question. I like how you worded it using a French, intro to a la carte.
Yeah, so
yes.
Definitely exciting about Grotto though. And I'm going to be down there next week, and if it just happens to open while I'm there, then we'll definitely try to do our best to get in there and go live. We still don't know if it's going to be reservation, first come first serve. It's going to be,
they haven't said anything about it. So
if you have to sacrifice your firstborn, which I'm okay with that. So
I'm hoping they at least open up the terrace, to give people
I can
an
see that
opportunity
opening
to just get the drinks. Because they all the mugs are back there as well. So yes, it's just, and it's a what are those, like
just a roll up door, right?
Exactly, a window, right? So
right,
it's only like
a door,
bar height. Yeah,
roll it up and go.
It rolls up. You can hold 1 or 2. You can get a couple of servers back there. So if you can get them outside, I think that's a great start. Poly was fantastic. Obviously, a lot of construction going on there, but they're moving really fast, and I know that it's delayed. Yeah. So Polynesian Resort opens on the 14th, or is allowed to start staying there on the 14th, and July 8th. So that's today. Ohana, did it open? It opened today.
Yeah, sure did. So a lot's happening now. We know the Porte Cochere and the monorail station isn't yet complete, but they're still. Are they still? Is it still an active construction zone underneath where the lobby is? Or okay, so it's still continue to be blocked off.
Still, they're not going.
Still okay.
They're not going to remove any of that until everything is complete, because they're putting monorail track up. They're putting up all the extension covering as well, plus redoing how to get into the lobby. So
would you say they're maybe 75% complete?
I think it might be close to 75%. Sure. Okay. If I saw it at 0% complete. So yeah, I would say, hi, Crystal, how are you?
Hey, welcome.
So yes. So to get in there, you go into the side entrance to the Great Ceremonial Hall or building on the right-hand side if you're approaching the parking lot. So and it's very hard to get in there right now. So guys, if you're trying to get there, I even just read that they have stopped taking reservations for Captain Cooks, like to be able to do mobile order pickups, unless you're staying at Poly. So that's something it's
funny you mentioned that, because I just was looking up Contemporary. We know Contemporary is going under its refurbishment right now, and it's partially closed. And it said on there, quick service, the Contempo Cafe is only accepting orders for hotel guests only. So now, if you're not a hotel guest, I don't know how they're monitoring that or whatever, but I can tell you up immediately.
The Polynesian parking lot is absolutely packed with lifts and trucks, and
that's more than half of it is filled with construction.
More than half of it,
storage, right? So
and the whole back wall, it's all construction plus whatever they have lined up there. So when we pulled in, they said, "What do you like? Can I help you? Are you staying here?" And I said, "No, I don't have a reservation here." I said, "But we're here to, go to Tambu, get a couple of drinks, and come on down and do some shopping at Boutique." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, like we can't really allow that anymore." And I was like, "Really?" I said, "But we're going to Tambu, to get drinks. I'm sure that's not just for the hotel guests." And he says, "Well, are you Vacation Club?" I said, "Yep." He said, "Show me your card." And I did. And he's like, "All right, well, you can go." I was like,
wow. I mean,
But yeah,
that's hardly ever that you get turned away like that, right? So
I was talking to someone who works there about that situation, and they said that their friends were coming to see them, and they were just told, no, sorry, you can't go and see your
wow.
friend who works here.
So what about if you were to park? Let's say well, let's just say not even parking, right? Let's just say you take the monorail over to TTC and you walk over to Poly. I mean, they're gonna stop
No,
you and say no.
nope,
Okay. All right,
no,
so that's
they
still an
just don't
option,
want
right?
you
So,
parking, taking, and the parking lot was empty. You know, for the amount of
well, I mean,
construction that
if
they
they
had there, it
got
was full, but the
limited
cars weren't there.
parking,
Yeah,
if they've
right.
got limited parking to begin with, they do want to reserve what parking they do have left for guests, right? I mean, because
Sure.
what could be worse than you show up for your resort stay and you can't park anywhere? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Well,
come on, that's gonna be
villas have their own parking. You know that.
Right.
So when you pull in, most people go left. You go towards the Great Ceremonial Hall. But if you go right, there's villa parking over there, and they have security driving up and down the aisles like all day. So that was awesome. We didn't get to walk over because the walkway was still closed between Polynesian and Grand Floridian. Even though I think every time I go there, I'm going to take that walk now. I really enjoy that walk. We've done it
Yeah,
too.
we did that.
You know,
Yeah, it was beautiful.
you walk underneath the monorail. It's just a nice walk, and it's brand new concrete. Who doesn't like walking on brand new concrete and brand new bridges? Because it just feels good under your feet.
And there's a lot, believe it or not, there's a lot of shaded areas along that walkway.
Yeah.
It's not all in the sun. So it's even
Yep.
coming from Magic Kingdom, there's several shaded areas. So
No, absolutely,
at
and
night,
benches. There's benches
yeah.
to sit down at and stuff. So yeah.
But say at night, it probably would be a great spot. Let's say if you wanted to get an early jump on the crowds before
Yeah.
fireworks, as you're walking out, just kind of stop and turn around. Right, it's right there.
Yeah.
You maybe not be able to see the castle, but you definitely can catch some of the fireworks.
Well, even
as
if you're
walking
on
back.
that bend from Grand Floridian, you'd see them all
Right.
too, right there.
Yep.
Got caught in the rain a few times.
Yeah, it
Went
looks
on Haunted
like
Mansion.
quite a few times.
Yeah. There was one time where, I mean, as we walked under the canopy for the boat, I mean, it can't,
Just
you
opened
couldn't
up.
even see. Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, had a great time. I didn't feel really crushed in at Magic Kingdom at all. Saw a bunch of cavalcades, and they were just, I mean, the cavalcades come all the way down the street, so you know when it's starting to turn. But I did notice that it seemed like they waited longer to delay the speakers. So they didn't really turn the speakers on until it was in sight. Like it wasn't just blasting down the road the whole time. They were
Right.
coming out like, oh, they're a half a block away. Turn the speakers on here. Half a block away. Yeah, there you go. Sean will tell you. Cushions fix the rain. They do. So if you're at Boulder Ridge and you want to see the fireworks, or if you're
Grab
at
that- I saw
Geyser
your
Point,
photo.
yeah, where we just balanced those. I mean, it was raining too. But it was good. I mean, we got to see the fireworks. We got to see the return of the fireworks, which, they haven't done fireworks, a full fireworks show without testing and stuff like that in,
Right.
a long time.
First
And
time in over a year.
it was awesome. And now we find out that they're taking away Happily Ever After. Happily Ever After's last tune will be the night before the first.
Yeah, September 30th. So yeah, so that's one of the big announcements. So we'll just go ahead and start off with it. September 30th is going to be the last show for Happily Ever After
Yep.
ever. So
Yeah.
it is time to pass along the torch. But on the flip side, we are getting Disney Enchantment, which will start on October 1st,
Right.
on the 50th, right? And what's even great about this is it's going to have projection mapping, not just on the castle, but all the way down Main Street. So if you've ever been
Yeah.
to Disneyland, very similar to what they do in Disneyland, but now we're taking all the Main Street, and the whole thing's going to be lit up in gold and fireworks.
That's why
everything, right?
they've
So-
been having those facades up on those buildings, randomly. So
Yeah.
they did one side of the street, they did the other. I know
The Emporium.
confectioners were closed. They took all of the art out of the art store, and it was full of candy. And I was
Yep.
like, but I want to buy a painting. Like I
Yeah.
come here to buy a painting every time I'm here. I want to buy a painting and take it home. They were like, do you want 3 lollipops? And I was like, no. I was like, I want a
It's like,
painting.
where's that Jim Shore painting or Jim Shore sculpture? Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So yeah, that's going to be
yeah.
exciting. So
Yeah.
and of course we've got Harmonious, which will be replacing the Epcot Forever Part 2. I guess
Right.
it would be on October 1st, and then Epcot Forever, of course, is going to be retired. So yeah, we got those 2 new ones, and then of course, like Nate said, fireworks are back. Nightly shows at both Epcot and Magic Kingdom. I'm not sure why Hollywood Studios hasn't brought it back yet. I'm sure a lot has to do with Fantasmic not being in the show at the moment. But then we got the new daytime show at Animal Kingdom that's going to be coming as well, October 1st. That'll be basically kind of like the a revamped version of We Are One mixed with Epcot Forever with the kites. So that's going to be kind of neat that they've got coming out. And then they just announced literally yesterday, all of the hotels will be open by the 50th, by the end of the year.
Man, so good to hear, because they said they just started construction on the Port Orleans, Riverside and French Quarter, and they said they just started it, but then they're going to be open by like mid-September. So whatever they're doing fast, which is great, because I think Port Orleans Riverside is one of the most underrated resorts on property. Boat to Disney Springs and $16 large cheese pizza. $16. Listen, it's the cheapest pizza on property. They're $24 to $40 everywhere else.
It was the cheapest, right? And we don't know if that's going to be coming back, if it's going to be the same price. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot's changed, right? So, I mean, I know a lot of resorts, have actually revamped some of their menus recently. Some new things have been added. Some things have been brought back. I mean, obviously, we had the noodles come back to Ohana. I know everybody was raving about that. That was like a huge victory,
they said no, and then a week later they said no. All right, yes, never mind.
Right. So, so we've got more and more restaurants opening up. A lot more people being hired for dining. Disney is literally hiring like crazy.
Disney, so just so you guys know, we as travel agents got emails from Disney saying, do you know anyone who wants to work at Disney? Do you know anyone who could provide the magic to
I've never gotten a recruitment email from Disney saying, hey, do you know anybody? So it just goes to show you that the demand is really there. They've called back everybody that they got furloughed, has been called back, obviously, that's been able to come back. They've even called back people that retired at the pandemic and says, hey, I'll just go ahead and take my retirement now. They've even called them back and said, hey, do you want to come work? So, I mean, like, they need people. Obviously, they know it's going to be huge. The 50th anniversary is going to be amazing. There's even rumblings that Tron is going to be done sooner than later. So it was expected to be spring next year. We're now hearing it could be ready for the first. So that's going to be amazing. But that will open alongside Remy's Ratatouille.
And then, of course, Remy's Ratatouille, that's going to be a crazy ride as well. Again, using that same technology. Hard time unless they quickly raised their minute to match Universal 15. No, you're right. You're right. And when I was there, I saw a lot of earning my ears. I'm telling you, I saw for every one cast member, I literally saw two to three. Our servers at the restaurant had at least one with them. You know what I mean? Coming around. Yep. So
it's an exciting time. So and I've even heard that the Star Wars hotel is ahead of schedule based upon the COVID stuff, the delay. So like
I'll tell you something, man. They better do something to the outside of that thing, because it just looks like a big cement jail cell.
But that's the thing, is once they finish all the facade and all the greenery, you won't see the building.
Right.
So there's no reason to decorate the outside because you won't see it ever.
Right.
So
let's talk about things that might be coming, or
let's just talk about the elephant in the room, right? So Disneyland.
You're right.
Disneyland Paris announced yesterday, or not yesterday, I think it was the day before yesterday, that they are getting rid of FastPass, the free system. Mm-hmm. It will now become Premier Access, which
Premier
is
Pass,
Premier Pass, their paid system. So the way it's working is basically the old standby line now becomes the Fast Pass line, and the Fast Pass line is now a paid-for, pay-to-play line. So that's what Sean here is talking about, a la carte. So what they're doing is and we saw the same kind of change in the Disney World app, where they added the word standby to the wait time system. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of following the same pattern. But what happens is now if you want to not pay and just ride a ride, you have to choose a return time, kind of like a virtual line,
virtual queue.
So it's basically what it is. And you have a 30-minute window to come back for that virtual queue window, and that you only wait 10 to 15 minutes or whatever it may be in the actual line. So it's just like,
so long as it doesn't break, so long as everything runs smoothly, just like now.
Exactly. So, but the thing is, it's not always going to be like that, right? So if it's first thing in the morning and there's not a lot of people coming to that attraction, it'll be a traditional standby line. But if it's like Frozen Ever After and everybody goes for it at rope drop, it'll be a virtual queue, from the get-go, right? So they'll be able to manage
people moving around the parks, not standing in these lines anymore, because it's aggravating and everybody.
But the caveat to that is that new Premier Pass, where you're literally going to be able to pay on a per person per ride basis to be able to skip the line. So,
Right.
and you'll be given basically priority access to the front, just like it was before with FastPass. So, and the pricing for this, and the conversion from euros or whatever to American dollars, is about $10 to $18 per person per ride, and it's
Per
dynamic
ride, right.
pricing, right? So, one ride could be $10 in the morning, but $15 in the afternoon, so on and so forth, right? So it's going to
Yeah.
change, and literally could be, a couple hundred to $200 extra per person per day if you wanted to do 10 rides.
If
You
you,
know,
yes. So if we
right?
think about this in terms of what Universal is doing, they have Express
Hmm.
Pass. So you buy that
Yep.
per day and it runs you
Right. It's per day.
it's like
Well, it varies,
130,
right?
right,
120 to 180, depending on
right,
what time of day and all that stuff.
per
Yeah. So
person per day.
per
So
day.
this isn't some new technology about, ways to
Yeah.
skip a line or
Universal's been
something
doing
like
it for
that.
years.
So Disney did come out and introduce at club level, you could buy for $50. You could get 3 extra fast passes in a day. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to institute something like that, because that seemed to work well. A lot of people liked that.
That was $50 per person per day, though, wasn't it?
Correct.
So if
Yeah,
you had a
but you
family
could
of four,
also,
it was
but you could pick one. Like I had a client, only one person in the party wanted to do it. So they just had to pay the $50. So
gotcha.
you got to see how it unfolds, because, like I said, when I was there, more fast pass signs were up. There were fast pass return times for both Nemo and the cars.
Oh, the Speedway.
Yeah, the Speedway. Now there were fast pass return times. There was nobody in the fast pass lanes, or the fast pass lines, but they were there. One ride each per day, so it comes to roughly 19. So that's right on par with what their friends down the street are going to do. 260ish a weekend. Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, so we've heard rumors of anywhere between $100 to $300 per person per day,
Right.
for the cost of this program. So, like,
And I'm
what we
sure
saw
they're going to
with-
have an unlimited one.
Sure,
Yeah,
right. There wouldn't be no reason why they wouldn't do a tiered system like Universal does. They've got a single use and they've got an unlimited, right? And it
Right.
just makes it more advantageous and more, opportunities for them to upsell. So, oh, you want to do, Peter Pan 15 times? Great, you're going to need the unlimited. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So it's like,
Right.
you want to do Avatar. But here's what is interesting about it is, people are like, oh, it's going to be, not so great. It's going to limit the number of people who are using the service. So, I mean, Disney's really pricing people out of certain areas. Let's just be real. They're
Sure.
turning it into pay to play. We know Chapek's been doing that for the longest time, but it's not going to really affect the standby lines as much as we think, right? So it's just like it is now when you have your occasional VIP tour or a DAS pass or a child swap. That's about how frequently I would see this program being used up front. As it goes on, and maybe 6 months, maybe less, maybe a year, and Disney finds ways to tweak it and make it more affordable, more available to everybody else, then I see it becoming more of a problem. But up in the beginning, I don't see a lot of people taking it and running with it as far as they're
I
expecting.
personally like Disney Way, since not every ride will need one. I don't know, man, because you look at rides that I like to frequent, like Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion. Those are
Right.
rides that get those solid hour lines, hour and a half
Yeah.
lines. You know what I mean? So if I could get an unlimited pass, that would let me do. But see, would it be every ride? Okay,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
I
Because
get
like
not
even at Universal, you've got select attractions that aren't offered, like Hagrid's and certain things like that, right? So
sure.
would they
But I
do
think
like
it's just
a tiered
Hagrid's and
system?
Velocicoaster, right?
Right now,
I think
yeah.
that's the only
Yeah.
two. Yeah. Where Fast Pass was only Fast Pass was everything.
Hmm.
But
But
the
they did do
vouchers wouldn't.
they did do the tier system though, where you only could get one tier one, two
Yeah.
tier two, stuff like that.
So
That was just
confusing.
confusing. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would
Right.
see maybe them doing something like that, where they continue a tiered system, one per person or unlimited, have a 2-tier, and then the quote
You're gonna
unquote
get
free
some
option would be the
ballers
virtual
in
queue.
there. Yeah, but then it's I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait to see how it plays out. I got to see how they do this, because, like I said, they haven't removed the word Fast Pass from those kiosks, and those kiosks were,
Right.
the sheaths were removed by staff. The screens were on, and it said Fast Pass on it. And I went up and I hit my magic band to it, and it, it just spun. It didn't do anything. But that means that somebody had to have turned that on, activated it, did something with software to make it do this. So
Well, I mean, there could be a lot of reasons why, right? They could be testing the systems. They could be pushing software updates to them. I mean, because that screen, I mean, all it is in the matter of a click, it could just easily be converted
yeah,
to
but
whatever you want.
no, but they're not going to do it deliberately. They're not just going to unsheath
No,
something that they said is going away and be like, let people come up and see what this does. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe
they're
they're
not,
using it as a testing point. Maybe they're just like, who knows, right? Nobody knows other than Disney what the method for
sure,
any of their madness is. But
I get
there
it.
could be a million different reasons why they have it open. Maybe they just did it so they can drum up, rumors about Fast Pass coming back. Who knows? I mean,
Right?
you saw what they did with dining, right? They said,
Yep.
hey, we're going to talk about this. Oh, hey, by the way, dining will be back. But then we're going to talk about
Yeah.
something else. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to just drop the bomb and then we're going to move on. And they just said, we got
Yep.
no other info, but dining will be back. And that's all we know, right? We don't know dates. We don't know pricing. We don't even know if it'll
They're
be this year. So,
they're just giving us vague, like time
very
frames.
vague.
Like when I was busting you up the other day about time frames that we were given. I was like, okay, so literally they just said, so within the next 6 months, cool stuff's going to happen. Like it's like,
Right.
okay, right.
And then
But
annual pass. We haven't even heard anything about that in weeks, right?
no, and that was
nugget
like
email.
a buzz, and it was like
then
annual pass come back this week, and then it's like nope. So
Ghost Town. Yeah. So,
Yep.
and a lot, I mean, that could also have a lot to do with this new Magic Pass, Lightning Pass, whatever they're going to call
whatever they're
it.
going to call it, yeah.
Because then if they're going to offer a paid subscription service for ticket holders and resort guests, well, they're going to do it for annual pass. So that's probably a one piece of the pie that everything happening. So, yeah, August 16th, we heard that too.
Yeah, that's
Mid-August,
the
right?
date we heard, but
In that email that we got back for annual pass, I think it said August 15th was like the cutoff date.
Right.
And then anything that bought after that date was not going to get the free Magic bands and all that kind of
Yep.
stuff. So that was
all
like
that, yeah.
the changeover date. So yeah, that could still be, right? So a month
Just like-
away.
Just like promotions, which we know everybody's been waiting for, and I've been saying are coming, and now I'm starting to think that they might not, because the chatter around the board right now is the 25% off promotion and the Florida resident promotion, which are both 25% off resort,
Yep,
ends
and
on the
29th.
29th of September,
Yep.
and it's June. So it's July. Excuse me. Wow.
Yeah,
where
we're
am
right
I?
at June. We're mid-July
So
almost.
usually by now we hear we
Yeah, fall promos have dropped, right?
fall
By now.
promos are already out through like mid-October right now,
Yep.
early November.
Usually just around
So,
to Halloween.
we are privy to some information where some companies might think that it wouldn't behoove them to come out with a deal because people are going to pay for it anyway. And I will tell you something, that the rack rates went up so much. The rack rates on these hotels are crazy right now.
And
Like,
there's
some
not
of
a
these-
short of people paying it. That's the
Nope,
problem, right?
They're
So-
full. They're full. Everyone, believe me, they're full. I mean, I'm not going to say it's 100% full capacity kind of full, but it's the resorts
Sean,
are full.
You're absolutely correct. They do not need a promotion
Nope,
to
they're
bring
not
people
going
to
to.
park. And that
They're not-
even goes back to dining, right? When dining does come back, I guarantee, I can almost guarantee it. It will
I
be
got
free
asked-
dining.
I got asked by a client today. He said, I heard that dining's coming back. Do you think it'll be free? And I said, absolutely not. No, it is not going to be. Now, whether they throw in a promotion to coincide with dining, so it offsets that free dining cost, like obviously, if you haven't picked up on it yet, it's not free. They just
No, there's nothing free from
you're
Disney.
paying for
but-
it. You're paying for it somewhere, but it's not an added cost. So that's
Right.
how you got to look at it. But yeah, I think it's exciting. I think the world is starting to open up again, or not again. Well, yeah, kind of again, because it kind of like came out strong, and then everybody was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, and now everybody's kind of like chilling again. So
Yep. But I think this October is going to be the best time, of 2021 to be in the resort. They still have
Yep.
some more resorts, obviously, that we just talked about that are opening, that just started booking today. So if you've got All Star Music, All Star
They're-
Sports, those
they're
are gonna be
revamping
opening.
their system. It's not that they just ended it; they just needed to find a way to make money on
So
it because
I
they've been
find that
seriously-
coincidental. Do you? That
course.
Disney said, "Hey, we're coming out with dining again,"
Yep.
and Universal said, "Hey, we're going to stop selling dining because we're going to go back to the drawing board and do something better." So they
Right.
know. I mean, it's almost like they're in bed together with each other, and they know one's going to come out with a dining, and it's going to cause them to revamp their whole system.
If
'cause they
anybody
gotta
thinks that
compete,
these
so
guys aren't talking on the side, I mean, you've got to be naive. They have to be
absolutely.
talking. They do everything. Like it's like if Slugsworth he just worked for both companies. Like he left Disney at night and then went over to Universal and was like, everlasting gobstopper. You know, like all of a sudden
Exactly,
Disney
right?
tomorrow releases an everlasting gobstopper, and so
I
does
mean,
Universal. It's like,
since the early '90s that I can remember, Universal and Disney has always been the keeping up with the Joneses, right? They
mhm.
do something, the other one has to one up them, vice versa.
But
And
they're
then here
always
lately,
both on the same track because there's always
yes,
something going on.
yes.
Um,
Well, they got their
so
finger on the same pulse. I mean, let's be honest. They know their demographic, they know their market share, right? And they know what
mhm.
the people want. And it just happens to be that usually it kind of aligns. Disney and Universal guests kind of want the same things when it comes to attractions
You
and
got to
dining
check
and
out the
stuff like that.
demographics from Disney to Universal. I mean, it's so like here's the Disney people and the Universal people like literally fill it into the rest of civilization. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's almost 100% between
they
going
do.
between the two parks because Universal is considered more of a party situation, thrill ride situation. Hulk, Spider Man, the Doctor Doom drop of Doom or whatever they call it over there. They were doing meet and greets though, so they had
Yes.
Rogue. Rogue, Storm, and I think it was Captain America all doing a thing, not right in your face, but they weren't getting too far away, and nobody was
A couple
wearing
feet.
masks.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
was good to see that you can get up there, get your picture taken, no lines to get it done.
We've seen some
Uh,
meet and greets at Disney return. Jasmine's back at
yep,
Epcot.
Jasmine's back for a socially distanced meet and greet. Yep. So yeah,
And
and
the
then Cavalcade.
bathrooms over in Morocco are open again, I see. So they
Correct.
finally finished the remodel on
And
that.
they're new, so go blow them up while you can. You know what I mean? Because they don't stay like that for long. If you're not blacked out on
Wow.
Saturdays to the end of August, people coming back to the theme parks. Yeah, there you go. Well,
It, I mean, it just goes to show you, right? This summer, Florida is one of the hottest destinations to go to, and the theme parks are no different. So,
right.
either you're going to Disney, you're going to Universal, you're going to SeaWorld, you're going to, Discovery
Well,
Cove.
well,
Um,
speaking of travel, I mean, one of the problems that a lot of people are running into right now are passports. Passports are taking a
yes.
little bit longer. I know you got yours early, but I've had other clients reach out that would love to travel right now and they just can't go where they want because the passports, they just don't have them.
Yep. It
So,
is really difficult, right? So the average wait time is 10 to 12 weeks for standard, and they're telling people 14 to 16 weeks with processing.
and you got yours in
Expedited,
what, 6?
my son got his in 6. So
Right.
now a lot of things, there's a lot of variables behind that, right? So it's come down to, just based upon my experience, one, do not go to a post office.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
that seems to be one of the biggest denominators when people have problems is they went to a post office. Which, I mean, yes, they are a U.S. passport acceptance agency. They can
Sure.
fully process all your stuff, but come on, they usually can't get your mail to you on time, and you want to let them take care of your sensitive documents to the government. So
Hey, let's not do that. Come on. Come on. Let's not say that if
number
somebody
two.
didn't come through and take away all their sorting machines,
Well,
go
I'm just
faster.
saying. I'm just
All
saying.
right. Okay.
Let's just say number two is the lack of organization that people have or don't have, right? So
Right.
when you show up to your passport application, you need to make sure you have everything like then before you get there. Not, oh, on my way, I need my birth certificate. Well, then guess what? You might as well even go to your appointment because you
Yeah.
can't do it
They
without
just
it, right?
they
So
turn you right around. Yeah.
yeah,
You
exactly.
forget one
So
piece of paper. So
being organized and going to like a district clerk or a local county or even a state passport office is going to give you better chances than going to a postal office
sure.
acceptance agency. So
Yep.
now, like you said, expedite. I've got clients who did expedite back in April, still haven't gotten it. He literally has been calling daily to the post office. They tracked it; it's there, but they can't find it. So they literally have lost his application and his paperwork and all his secure documents. So it's just a matter of getting somebody to find it and then process it, right? So yeah, I would say if you need a passport and you want to travel anytime this year, you need to get on that like yesterday.
Hold on, Mark. I'll be right back.
Oh, all right. So yeah. So definitely get with your agent, whether it be myself, Nate, or whoever your agent is. They can help you make sure you get all the right documents, all the right information organized neatly, and then onto your passport agent, and even help you make an appointment if need be, so that you can have the best chance of getting your passport back in time for your trip. So the other big tip is when you fill out your passport paperwork, make sure you're putting in a destination and a date when you're going to travel. And the tip
Right.
that I was giving was doesn't matter where you're going, doesn't matter when you're going. if you have something there, it puts you to the front of the line. So let's just say, it's July and you say, oh, I'm going to take a trip in October. Well, you may or may not take one. Just say you're going to take a trip in October because it'll put you to the front of the line to get that process a lot quicker. If you don't
Right.
have one or you put a later date of like 2022 or whatever, it just puts you farther on down that list. So
Mm-hmm.
for my sons, we chose December that we were going to go to Mexico. So that's what we put.
Right.
Sean says, good time to tour the USA. I mean, absolutely, right? There's a lot of places inside the U.S. that are great to visit and don't need
And
a
don't
passport.
forget, there's now all inclusive in the United States. So no more excuses, and it's in Florida. So
Yep.
there you go.
And then
All
Hawaii.
inclusive.
So Hawaii, as of today, fully vaccinated Americans can visit the island without quarantine and without pre-travel testing as long as you present your vaccination card upon entry and upload it into the system. So easy peasy. That's going to take a lot of headache on getting to the islands. I know I've heard from my brother who lives there, the rental car situation is getting a little better. Instead of 750, 800 a day, it's like 500 a day. So we're not quite back to normal yet.
It's $2,000 for like 5 days, man. It was crazy.
It's ridiculous, right? His buddy who rents rental cars on the island he's booked up weeks in advance, and the people are paying $500 cash a day. Just
Even
no
the
problem.
transfer companies that we use are booked up. Like they can't handle like what they have going on.
No, I had a client who was booked to go in November, and I had them on the Road to Hana tour, adventure tour, and I got an email saying, "I'm sorry, we sold you this, but we're overbooked, so
Wow.
your client can't go." So luckily, I was able to find them on another Hana tour on a different day. We redid their whole itinerary, but they're going to get to go. But yeah, like it's just amazing how they're having the shortage of same thing right everywhere. Shortage of people, shortage
Yeah.
of vehicles,
People who
stuff
want to
like
work.
that.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So it's not just everywhere, but
crazy.
yeah, Hawaii is a great option. It's a beautiful place to stay. I mean, I would say anybody who has a chance to go there, go there. You
Yeah.
won't regret
No,
it.
I just had a client get back from 2 weeks on a honeymoon. I've got, I just helped out another client today on some pricing for one and multiple destination. I called you about it. Get some multiple destination help. But yeah. Yep, they're opening up. Everybody's opening up, so might as well take advantage and travel. I mean, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I know I've got a lot of travel coming up. I think I have an average of 2 trips each month from now until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And starting next week. So I'll be back down at Universal. We got 3 days at Hard Rock club level, and then we've got 5 days at Boardwalk Villa.
Oof.
And then we're gonna rock that out. and then
Jelly,
we come
jelly.
back.
Don't forget that pizza, bro. Don't forget that pizza. That
Oh,
pizza's
bro.
so on point,
Why do you think I
man.
chose Boardwalk? Come on.
Dude, that pizza and you know what's one of the best things about it is the little packets. So you get the little packets of Parmesan cheese, you get the little packets of red pepper flakes, and I mean, just crush whole pizza, man. Just sit there and crush it. It's so good.
And it's open till usually 10 or 11 o'clock. So I told my sons, we're going to get a slice of pizza, and then we're going to go next door over at Abracadabra Bar and get a drink. We're going to hang out there and chill because that's open again. And then we're going to go try out the new ice cream place right next door to there where Amper Hills used to be. So I'm really stoked about staying at Boardwalk. We'll get to check out the pool with the new Keister coaster. Pool slide. So and then of course we got Cape May. We're doing Cape May over at the Beach Club for breakfast.
No, are you gonna? Okay, I was gonna say you're getting the seafood spread or no?
No, we're gonna do the breakfast. So obviously we're gonna be at Hollywood Studios each morning. So being at Boardwalk, we can just walk there. So it's like we'll go to Cape May. We'll do a good breakfast spread. Right, get filled up. We got a 7:30 reservation. Hollywood Studios opens at 9. We got a good 20-25 minute walk off breakfast. Boom, we're right there at Rope Drop, and it's start the day. So meeting up with our boy Pat for my birthday. We're gonna drink around the world.
He just sent us a message.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and said see you tomorrow.
Yeah. It's a picture of him and the fam driving down.
Yep.
So yeah, it's going to be an exciting week. I'm excited because of course Mickey's bringing back fireworks for my birthday. My wish came true, so he heard me on that. And then I got a week after I get back from Disney, then I go back to Maui. So that I'm really looking forward to. That's going to be an exciting trip. And then Virgin Voyages. I'm excited to get to set sail with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'll be setting the 7 seas with Sir Richard Branson and friends.
Sure.
If he makes it back from space.
Yeah.
I think he goes. Is it tomorrow?
I think tomorrow or the next day. I know it was this
Yeah,
week. Yeah,
it is this, and then Bezos goes like 4 or 5 days after him. So,
ridiculous.
yeah,
Talking about a space race, huh?
for sure, for sure. The only space one that I'm really worried about is what you call it, the new Guardians of the Galaxy one. That's what I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to.
right.
I mean, I know you're not a coaster guy, but this coaster is literally going to do 360s as you're being
Yeah,
shot.
as you're going, yeah, it's gonna be
It's
nuts.
going to be insane. I
Yep.
cannot wait. Cannot
Yeah.
wait. So, all right, guys. If you stick around long enough to watch this live, stick around on my MVP page in about 15-20 minutes. One of my guests and friends, Cass, is going to go live from Magic Kingdom, and she's going to stream happily ever after from my page for me. So feel
Yeah,
free
that's
to
awesome.
stick around and check that out. And if not, you can always watch it on replay. And for
Yep.
those of you on YouTube, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and hit that subscribe button down on the bottom. So, all right, Nate, anything else before
man.
we hop out of here for the night?
No, man, I'm good.
Cool.
I'm
All right.
good.
Well, thanks everybody. We'll see you guys. We won't do a show next week because I'll be, of course, on location, but I'll have lots of lives, and we'll be back the week after to recap my trip and talk about what other big news Disney drops between now and then. So,
Right.
fingers crossed, it's dining.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool, man.
All right. Y'all take
Have
it
a good
easy.
one.
Have a great night.
We'll talk to you.